Hello everybody, welcome to the weekly bump. Thank you guys so much for being here. I am super excited to be here again. So let's go ahead and just get started. So we have 3 piles, okay, piles 1, 2, and 3. This week we're using an Orchid Calcite, an Orange Calcite, and a Fluorite. We're kind of going with some nice middle chakra colors this week. And astrologically, it's kind of a cool week. We have the sun coming into Taurus. We have Mercury, Venus creeping up on Uranus up in Taurus, so there's a lot of shifts going on. We have Mars coming into the last degrees of Gemini, moving into Cancer on the 23rd, building our way up to that full moon in Scorpio and getting prepared for a Pluto retrograde. So we have a lot of stuff culminating over the next 10 days. And I think there's going to be just some really cool movements and cool shifts just in life in general during this time. So for the piles, go ahead and pick your pile. We have timestamps in the description box and the comment thread down below so you can easily jump to whichever pile you're feeling drawn to. If you don't feel emotionally or intuitively connected with the pile, that's totally fine. I always say there's an element of destiny involved, so you can just randomly pick a pile and it's likely that there will be something in that message for you. Okay, so I'll see you guys in just a sec. Thanks. Alrighty, pile number 1, you guys selected the Orchid Calcite. Let's go ahead and just dive right in. So the very first card we get, Earth. Well, we're definitely in an earthy season. Sun moving into Taurus really gives us that whole grounded kind of energy, which will kind of balance out, I think, a lot of the air that we've had for a while, with the Mars in Gemini, Saturn and Jupiter in Aquarius. And I feel that there's either a need or that you already are really working on your grounding, working on your earthy responsibilities, whether it's your financial responsibilities or, your obligations, getting things done, being really productive and focusing on things that actually are going to produce results. It's not about the dream space right now so much. It's just really not. I think right now it's about hunkering down, hunker down, get her done kind of stuff, and just really allow yourself to produce the dream, right? To make the decisions, to take the steps, to make the phone calls, send the emails, get the things done, and get the goals done. A lot of you might be still struggling a little bit. Well, what if I don't really know what I want? What if I really don't know what I want to work toward? That's okay. You can take that energy and dedicate it toward, your healing or your self-care or your meditation, and really make sure that you prioritize your body and your health and those kinds of things as well. Anything earthy in nature, anything physical in nature. All right. So that's a beautiful way to start off the reading. Oh, okay. Well, we got the 3 of Swords here. Justice, 7 of Swords, Hanged Man. Whoa, what's going on here? All right, there's some stuff coming out for sure. Well, this is what I'm saying, right? With the 3 of Swords, the 7 of Swords, the 8 of Swords, there seems to be a lot going on in your mind. As Mars comes into that last degree of Gemini, there might be a lot of mental activity, just really trigger. And you might be thinking about a lot of things, and maybe there's a little bit of analysis paralysis. That's why this earthing energy is probably coming out front and center, because it's remember to stay grounded, get barefoot, go outside, put your feet in the dirt if you have to, do all the grounding exercises. Put away maybe your clear quartz and your amethyst crystals and pull out a jasper or something that's going to help you to be more sturdy and more stable. Because clearly there's been some, I don't know, maybe something was taken away from you, maybe an opportunity that you thought was definitely yours, not so much. Maybe there was a heartbreak or there was, something, and now you're in an adjustment period, right? We have the number 11 card of Justice, which is about the adjustment, the balance, and sometimes that adjustment can feel like chaos. You're actually coming into an equilibrium, but it can feel really tumultuous. It can feel stressful. There can be anxiety involved with that. And it is possible, as we're building up to eclipses near the end of May, that, you can feel that something is culminating. You can feel something sort of swelling beneath the surface, and yet still also be feeling kind of out of control with the whole thing too. But that's, again, coming back to this center place and saying, okay, let me regroup. Because sometimes the Seven of Swords, I always look at this bird right in the front who's like squawking, and it's just very loud, like, so that narrative, that mind, that voice inside your head might be just really obnoxious right now. It might be talking a lot, saying a lot of things. There might be a lot of doubt, things coming into, it's like when a dream comes into your mind or a dream comes into your heart, maybe there's a part of you that immediately kind of smacks it down and says, oh no, it's not realistic. Look, just because you have earth energy in the center doesn't mean you can't dream really, really, really big. In fact, actually, this is probably the time when you should, the time when you really should stop being realistic and start saying, well, I just want the whole thing. I want the whole enchilada. I want all the money, all the happiness, all the joy, all the things, all the whatever you feel that that's what you want, whatever the desire of your soul is, and just ask for it. And yeah, you can ask for material stuff. We're living in this third dimensional world, yeah, you can ask for that if that's what you want, But I also think that you have to believe too. And I feel that this Eight of Swords has you all tied up, has you blindfolded, has you kind of restricted, because you might in your heart not truly believe. You might in your heart not truly believe that it's possible, or that it really could be for you, or you have no idea how it's going to come to fruition, and therefore, because you can't see the path, right? Which we're never really meant to see the path anyway. I mean, when have we ever known, So you hold back and then you just don't move forward because you don't see. It's okay to be kind of hung up in this tree for a minute. Hanged man. Sometimes you just need to surrender and say, okay, universe, I'll give in for a minute, right? I'll give in. I'll let you guide. I'll let you pull. I'll let you determine and dictate whether or not this is going to work for me. I'll let you, open the doors. I believe in the divine timing. See, in the spiritual community, so many people say they believe in divine timing. And in the next breath, they talk about when something's happening. When is something going to happen? It's like, well, if you're sitting there planning it out in that way, you probably aren't really, doing the divine timing thing. So are we doing the divine timing thing or not? I'm going to say for you guys right now, plan on the divine timing train of thought. Allow that to be a thing. Allow that to be the case. Allow yourself to hang up in this tree until that readiness emerges. I'm looking at this Four of Coins, and I do feel that there's a lot of restrictions still. You got the ropes around you here. You have your purse kind of really close to you here. There might be a little bit of a fear financially, right? Earthy. Well, what if I make this investment? What if I quit my job? What if I do this? What if I do that? Is the cost going to be too great? And even that in and of itself can also be really limiting too. The Hanged Man, this whole divine timing thing, is going to be giving you an opportunity to flow. And I love how she's kind of in her yoga aerial swing, or aerial yoga swing is what it's called, right? Because she's kind of she's hung up. She's not touching the ground. She's allowing herself to be bound, but more bound by the whim of the universe rather than bound by her own limiting beliefs. Different kind of binding, a different kind of attachment there, And I feel that there's kind of an element of release here with the Hanged Man, that the longer you're forced to stay in a certain state, which probably is not super comfortable, the more likely you are to release. And that the release of this limiting belief is actually an inevitability for you in divine timing, in a divine time. Oh, well, there you go. Surrender to the divine. Exactly. Well, I mean, that's the whole premise of the Hanged Man card there. That's the whole point. I don't know what to do with it. I don't want it to get cut off with the camera. We'll do that like that. So we have that same message. See, with the earth energy, like, I know there's still stuff you got to do. And if you can focus on the mundane, focus on the regular, focus on the tasks that you know are simple and achievable, and you can just kind of check them off the list, those kinds of things, doesn't mean you're not surrendered when you do those things. Because with the Hanged Man and this one, you can have volatility around you. You can have imperfection around you and still get closer. See, the reason for this Three of Swords is because your soul is manifesting in the background. I always say there's like two manifestations going on at every time. Anytime you send out a request to the universe, there's the ego request, and then there's the soul request. Sometimes those two are aligned and they're the same thing. And our soul and our ego are really wanting the same thing for the good intentions and for the good reason. But other times our ego will manifest one thing or try to manifest one thing. And then the soul is like, nope, I know better than that. And it's going to kind of override or supersede the ego manifestation. And when that overriding occurs, we often perceive that as being like we didn't get what we wanted. But ultimately, what's really occurring is exactly what we want. Our ego just doesn't like it, And so we're still getting what we want. We're still getting the happiness. We're still getting to that place or whatever it is in just not the way we understand. So there has to be an acceptance that you don't understand, right? There has to be, because you are bringing something into form. You are bringing something into a reality. Without question, that's happening. But it's just a little confusing as to how it's coming about. And it probably does not make any sense at all. You and your loved ones are safe, which means, yeah, the universe has your back. You are safe. You're good. Everything's cool. You're perfectly exactly where you're supposed to be. You don't need to overthink this. You don't need to put any stress or strain. You don't need to hold back. You don't need to be afraid. You don't need to be stringent or hoardy. You don't need to hoard anything. You can just relax. Hanged Man. I think the Hanged Man is the most important in these tarot cards to pay attention to. Just chill, hang up on that tree for a minute and let justice do its adjustment work, because it's adjusting your path, and that you are safe to be here for as long as the universe needs you to be there. Obstacles and challenges. Well, you perceive them as obstacles and challenges, I think, because the ego is trying to still bulldoze forward. That's like my new word, I think, over the past couple of weeks. It's like we're in this bulldoze mode. There's two different kinds of bulldozing, right? When things are going well and there's free flow and things are like totally working and it's like green lights all the way. That's a good kind of bulldoze. You can just bulldoze your way through. But then sometimes it's like red light after red light after red light after red light. And it just gets really, really exhausting. And what should have been like a 5-minute trip ends up taking like 25 minutes, right? And that's kind of maybe what was happening, was you were just continually hitting the red lights because the red lights were like trying to tell you to turn left. Like there's a detour, like go left, or go right, like it's a different path. But the ego was like, no, I got to go straight. That's the best way. I gotta go straight. I can't turn. I can't do it. And so, it's just gonna keep red light. Are you gonna turn? Are you gonna turn? Are you gonna turn? I think the universe is like, okay, it's time for you to turn. And we're gonna do this. It's getting to that point. It's getting to that breaking point. And as the sun comes into contact with Uranus over the next couple of weeks or week and a half, it's gonna come into a square with Saturn as well. And this is going to just like really say, okay, Are you going to like really keep going here, or are you going to allow the change to happen? Like the choice is yours, but do you want your life to be easy or not? And so you're going to have another opportunity to make your life easier. Although maybe the choice to do that or the decision to do that might not necessarily be the choice of your liking. Third eye chakra. There's an illumination of this intuition and this higher connectedness here. Like you already know what this sort of limiting belief is. You already know why this occurred. I don't think this Three of Swords is a surprise to you. I don't think that it's a shock. I don't think that it's any wonder as to how or why it happened. It's just, you know, in your heart of hearts, you know, in your soul, in your mind's eye, exactly why all of this is the way it is. And sometimes we just need to sink into that truth and unbind ourselves and allow ourselves to find the path with the green lights. The mediator. And I like that with the Justice card that came out. A gift for negotiating fairness and strategy in personal and professional life, respect for both sides in an argument. Okay, well, maybe there's multiple people involved. I didn't see people in the tarot or in the other cards, so I don't know really what you're dealing with here, but, you know, I know that you're going to do your best to make sure that whatever the outcome of a certain situation is the most fair possible. That you have a desire for that at least, and that's at least what you can bring to the table with no, you know, like ulterior motive, as it says down here, with no ulterior motive or a hidden agenda. You know, it's all very pure, it's all very transparent, it's real, raw, and honest. Now is a time to just lay it on the table, say this is like what we got, this is what we're gonna do, this is how it's gonna work, and we just move forward from there. I'm hoping for, you know, some kind of a resolution for you guys. Oh, and then we have the fifth chakra, Archangel Gabriel. Well, fifth chakra, right, it's important for you to actually, I think, say your goals out loud. Can I say that? To say those goals out loud? To say what you actually want out loud? To send the message, right, Gabriel, to send a message to the earth in an earthy way, in a vibration of physical form. Say it out loud or write it down. Get out those journals. Do the affirmations, whatever it is, you know, just do it. I feel that there's an expansive quality here coming through, right? We have a 3-9, which adds up to 3, which is a Jupiterian number. Okay, so there's a Jupiterian quality of good fortune and benefic things. It's likely that you will have some kind of an illuminating moment, some illuminating conversation, some kind of an epiphany of some kind that'll help you get down off this tree. Maybe you're just kind of waiting for Archangel Gabriel to like come and deliver the thing and have that clarity. I think you will have that. There will be that moment when you see or understand or whatever, and all of this kind of dissipates or disappears. Maybe not like this week, but, you know, in time, in divine timing. Regeneration. That's the beautiful thing about the Hanged Man. Similar to the Death card, there is a metamorphosis that occurs with the Hanged Man. There is a evolution. It's not as fiery and intense. It's not as crash and burn sometimes. Sometimes it's more of a retreat or a retraction. You pull away from the world. You don't make decisions. You may feel, a little foggy. I just happen to see that, little foggy. You feel a little foggy. Like you've been veiled from the information that you need. But really, you're just in a state of change. And therefore, it's just not clear. But ultimately, this fog will clear with Archangel Gabriel coming through. And you will be born again, so to speak, in a miniature way, in a mini way. And then last but not least, we have against the grain. See, I think one of the reasons why there's so much resistance is because your soul is wanting you to go against the grain, to do it a little differently. And the reason why it's so scary is because there's not a lot of proof or evidence that it's going to work. There's not a lot of proof or evidence that you are in fact safe. Remember, you and your loved ones are safe. And you don't have that evidence in front of you. And so it really is a gamble. Are you going to put your money on the table or not? Are you going to roll the dice or not? I would say win or lose, it doesn't matter, right? They always say win or lose, doesn't matter. It's how you play the game. We got to get in the game. You're never going to win if you don't play the game. And the game is creating a life. And the theme for April, which I'm going to keep saying, I think this is going to be the theme for all of 2021, change your energy, change your life, you know? And for the things that you want to change, the things that you want to make better, you know, you got to change that vibe. Okay? All right, you guys, beautiful reading. You guys know I love you. I wish you nothing but the best. I hope you have an amazing week, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye-bye. Okay, pile number 2. You guys selected the orange calcite, which is actually kind of like a yellowish color, which is beautiful. And I actually saw it in my little box. I don't really use this like little box that I have, and I pulled it out. I was like, oh my gosh, this is definitely has to be the one that I use this week. So I was feeling really drawn to this one. So we're all connected here, pile number 2. Okay. Oh, and we have Leo. Oh, well, there you go, right? Leo, kind of a yellowish third chakra color. We have, you know, a solar plexus energy, Leo sun. I mean, this is really fantastic. So there's power here. There's really stepping into your majesty, stepping into the things that make you great, stepping into your creative spirit, stepping into, you know, that passion that you have. Now, a lot of people right now are feeling very stagnant or blocked or a little bit lost or whatever. Not everybody, but hopefully not you guys, not with these cards, but or with these 2 things by themselves anyway. But if you are feeling a little bit blocked or stagnant or coming up empty on like new ideas, that's okay. This is a really good time to just like fall in love with the uniqueness that is your life, you know, to really enjoy every moment, get some extra sleep, you know, and take your time and, you know, really, really get in touch with just really what makes you happy, even if it's something simple or mundane. Just what makes you happy, what brings you a little bit of joy every day, what is it that you really, really love about this life, and find that gratitude and find that appreciation. There's a quality of creationism too, so anything from like writing to anything artistic, absolutely. And really just being out there and being a light and being warm with people, being generous of spirit, being open-hearted and all of that, you know, reaching out, asking people how they are, connecting with your family, and just like letting people know how much you love and care, you know? Tower. Okay, well, we've got Venus coming in contact with Uranus, so I mean, I feel like that's kind of like a yeah, okay thing. We have the Page of Wands, we have the 7 of Wands, the Lovers, the Page of Swords, and the 2 of Wands. Wow. What are you, kind of in your own little bubble here, huh? Page of Wands and Page of Swords. There seems to be a new adventure on the docket for you guys. A big change, the Tower, a big change is coming, and I think you're creating it. I think you know that. Something always so magical about this Page of Wands, how she's dancing and, you know, throwing her wand up in the air, and she's like performing, right, Leo? She's performing. It's almost as though you're living your life as a performance right now of like, wee, look what I can do. Like, look at me. I'm so, you know, I'm making my choices. I'm making these decisions. I'm moving forward. I'm creating this new idea, and I don't know, there's something so free about what's flowing through you right now. And then the Seven of Wands, she's even kind of like in her own little bubble. Like she kind of has her, she's like in this globe, and all the world like cannot touch you right now. Wow, like this is such a cool reading for you. You're untouchable. You're in this mindset. You're in this state of being. You're in this passionate love affair, right? This love affair with what? Life itself, maybe? With your projects, with your job, with your coworkers, with your friends. You're just in this passionate love affair. Even with your cup of coffee in the morning, it's just like, oh, I love this. I love this moment. I love the crispness of the spring air. I love the flowers blooming. Well, if you're in the Northern Hemisphere, I love the change of the season. I love. And there's something about just being in love. And I think you're so ready for a new chapter of intellectual stimulation in your life. You're so ready for something challenging. When I say challenging, I don't mean hard challenging, but like that kind of challenge that you feel motivated to push forward, to push through. Because this Two of Wands tells me that you are, really visualizing, daydreaming like a new world, right? You're envisioning a new life, a change in your life somehow, whatever, big or small, like a new apartment or a new romantic situation or whatever. Like I think that this is a very magical reading, and your magical qualities right now are actually really, really, really heightened. I think they're really heightened. It's really important for you to know that your thoughts and emotions are generating right now. So if you tap into a mode where you're not feeling super great and you get a little bit negative and you get a little bit Debbie Downer on yourself or whatever, please take a moment and breathe and say, okay, I need to stop generating these thoughts. And I'm not telling you to suppress stuff, because that's a totally different thing. You can still have the negative thoughts, but not entertain them or feed them, okay? This is about not feeding them. You have to feed the lion, okay? Not the other animal. I don't want to like demean it. The other animals, like the animal that's not the lion. You got to feed the lion, which is the self-empowerment animal, right? Don't feed those other animals, because don't feed the demons, because if you do, that's what you create. You have to understand how powerful everything is right now. It seems to be supercharged, electric. We've got the tower right here. It's electric. It's creating. Every decision you make is one getting you closer to the thing. And a negative stream of thoughts or a negative whatever is going to just totally negate all of the good work that you're doing. Okay? Prosperity lies ahead. Of course it does, because that's what you're thinking about. That's what you're doing. That's what you're dreaming for here. It's an inevitability for you. It's just what it is. That's how it works, right? When you are feeling this aligned, when you're feeling this flow, this is inevitable. And the end of a tough cycle approaches. Which I think you closed it out yourself. Because we get to close out our tough cycles kind of at any time with the power of our perspective. If we choose to see something as a tough cycle, quote unquote, if we choose to see it as a tough cycle, then yeah, it's going to be a tough cycle. But if we choose to see it as a launch pad or a platform for which we can build our future, then that's what it's going to be. So it's ending because you're choosing to end it, because you're ready for life to have a better free flow. You're ready for life to work better. You're just ready. And when you're ready, you're ready. Oh, yeah, exactly. Moving on. Yeah, moving on. Next, I'm like ready for the next thing. See, the thing I like about the moving on with the end of a tough cycle approaches is that there's this lightness to it, right? There's no burden here. You know, so many times we quote unquote start new things or have new beginnings, right? Like every single day is a new beginning. But yeah. But it's rare when we don't pull in the baggage, right? We don't pull in the crap that like we've been pulling with us for so long. I don't see you pulling the baggage. I just don't see it. It's not here. And that's why it's so light, and that's why it's so magical coming out, because you don't have that stuff, because you've forgiven, you've let go, you've done your work, you've healed. You have cut those entanglements, cut those ties, live and let go, wishing everybody to be happy and all. Like, you're not tied in that way. And therefore, you're not tied down. And because you have this beautiful self-focus, like protecting your energy of like, don't you dare come into my little bubble and ruin my happiness right now. It's just not going to work. Like in the minute you see someone that's going to try to like penetrate that bubble in any negative way, like, Leo's going to be like, oh, hell no. Like, you are not invited to this party. And so the boundaries are set. And because you have that, you're free to let your dream unfold beautifully and naturally, and it will. And fulfillment of wishes. Stop, please. I knew there was something special about that stone today. I don't know what it was. I could not have it. It was like, oh my God, I haven't looked at this stone in like months, like 7 or 8 months. And now all of a sudden it just was like right in my face. This is why. Because you're going to have what you want. Maybe not the way you think you're going to get it, but you're going to have what you want. Oh my gosh, you guys. I can't even make this up, Queen. I have to like laugh. Okay. Yeah. I mean, you can't make it up. So the light attributes: radiates the regal feminine, uses her benevolent authority to protect others. And that's what I'm saying, like reaching out to people that you love. I don't see any negative manifestation. The shadow attributes here, I get that it can be kind of controlling and demanding or somewhat, or maybe people can perceive it that way. It's not, right? It's just protecting your energy, protecting your family, especially if you have children, protecting your vibe. This is like mama bear type stuff coming out and being like, look, don't you dare mess up my projects. Don't you dare mess up my flow. Don't you dare mess up this creative, whatever it is. Because this is the gateway. This is the golden ticket to the fulfillment of my wishes. Don't you dare. And I do see maybe a little bit of harshness coming from you, but it's not like harshness toward the person because you don't like them. It's harshness toward the person because they're messing with your vibe. And it's not arrogant, and it's not selfish, and it's not self-centered. It's spiritually intelligent, really, is what it is. You can still have a personality, you can still have an ego, and still be spiritually enlightened as well. Strategy. So I know you're thinking about how things are going to work. See, a lot of times in a lot of these readings lately, the message has been like, we can't see, it's a little bit foggy, it's a little bit veiled, we can't really know. You won't know exactly either, but I feel like your path is a little bit more clear because you're a little bit more aligned, because things seem to be lining up a little bit better for you because you're sort of following your bliss right now. So you can strategize a little bit with the day-to-day stuff, the steps that need to happen, the things that need to get done, and you can still progress forward. And I feel like you're going to have the energy for that as well. Come to the edge. See, and I do think you're pushing yourself. That's what's so great about this like Page of Swords, that intellectual stimulation, that there's this component of doing something new. You are pushing yourself. You are coming to you are pushing past the boundaries, which is essentially what Jupiter and Saturn in Aquarius is really good for. It's like not about being within the boundary. It's about going beyond, because otherwise your life is just going to stay the same. So you are growing, you are learning, you are developing new skills. You are, enhancing your value set, so to speak. Enriching your life by bringing better and new things. So yeah, I do see you taking risks. And I do see you throwing some stuff at the wall and being like, let's see what sticks. What's going to work today? What's going to, make me happy today, or whatever it is. And there is a quality of spontaneity here as well. There's freedom. Freedom. Rain, purification. Ooh, with the tower there too. That's what I'm saying. You don't have the baggage. You're coming into this new chapter purified. 2020 must have done a number on you guys, because you guys are like the only ones that, I'm really feeling that pureness. You guys must have really gone deep and done the work throughout the past several years, probably, not just last year, but I mean like 2016, 2015, maybe 2012 for some of you. You did the work. You went in, you did the nitty gritty, you did the psychology thing, you did the learning thing, you did the astrology, the tarot thing. I mean, you just like really got in there and said, all right, what do I got to do to heal so that I can live a better life, And when you do, you crack things open, and that's when your life really changes. Oh, I'm telling you, you cannot make this up. Follow your own rhythm. With the Queen energy and the Leo energy and prosperity and moving on. Like, I just feel like you're not listening to anybody right now, and no one's going to be able to tell you nothing. I can't tell you nothing, because you're just in your flow, and you're dancing and you're learning and developing. And I think this is the way most people want to be. You may encounter some jealous people. You may encounter jealous people. And again, you're in your bubble. No penetration of that bubble. It's not possible. This is going to be a good week for you guys. Really good week. And moving through Taurus season, I think it's setting the tone. Aries season was like really set the tone for the new astrological year. And I think you guys took that in stride and said, you know what? I'm going to do what makes me happy. And here we are. And here you are in your flow. And it's happening. I think you're going to be surprised. Okay? All right, guys, I'm going to leave you with that. Thank you so much. I love you. I wish you nothing but the best. Take care. Okay, pile number 3. You guys selected the Fluorite, which of course is this beautiful green color. Let's go ahead and see what comes through for you, Aquarius. Okay, well, we know we have Jupiter and Saturn in Aquarius right now. We know that Uranus is in square with Saturn. Venus especially in square right now, or coming into a square. Sun coming into that in the next week or so. So, there's change. And I think there's going to be a little bit of a battle. And I kind of like this card, how he sort of has like 2 shield arm things. I don't know what really they are. But like 2 shields, and I'm seeing like 2 faces on those shields. It's like the face of Saturn versus the face of Uranus facing off one another. Is it going to be the restriction and the boundary, or is it going to be the breakthrough? And that choice is really yours. And it's almost as though he's sitting up here like a guardian and being like, look, you can pick from either pot. You can change or stay the same. You can live in this structure, or you can break free from this structure. And there's no bad choice. Not everyone's going to be ready to fully break through. Not everyone is going to be ready to completely revolutionize their life. That is okay. But you have to be aware that there is a choice placed in front of you. Because if you're not aware that that choice exists, then you will stay exactly where you are. But then there's the choice that must be made, and then the action that must follow. And we have Jupiter creeping into Pisces. Jupiter is going to be creeping into the first degrees of Pisces before it does that retrograde back in through Aquarius. So Jupiter is kind of like at those last degrees. It's sitting at 26 degrees right now. It's going to creep up to 27, 28, 29. And that Aquarian energy is just going to kind of culminate and get stronger and stronger and stronger. And it's like more and more and more chances. Like, are you going to do it? 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 And then when it comes into Pisces, it may be like, okay, it's gone. That opportunity is gone. I'll just take that opportunity away because, it will. I love Jupiter in Pisces, obviously, because it's a ruler and there's a lot of hope and optimism there. But I also feel like the Aquarian nature is more like you got to do it. Whereas Pisces is a lot more like, oh, I'll do it tomorrow, but like, no, it's like you got to do it in Aquarius. So there's kind of like a divine clock ticking. 5 of coins, 10 of coins, Ace of Cups. Okay. 5 of coins and 5 of cups sort of bookending the reading. All right, we've got 5 of coins, 5 of cups over here. But then we have these beautiful like 2 of cups, Ace of Cups, 10 of coins. There's a lot of abundance here I'm feeling, and that's also very Aquarian in nature as well. But 2 of coins, right? The choice. Boom, there it is. Balancing those 2 options. I think more than anything, you're wanting that happiness. Ace of Cups, 2 of Cups. There's a quality of you that really wants to be open to love and wealth and prosperity, quote unquote, so like whatever that means for you. We all have different definitions of that. But that prosperity is only if you feel that you deserve. If you're still not feeling deserving enough to let prosperity into your life, because sometimes prosperity comes in as a disguise in a really hard decision that requires a risk. And if you're afraid of that risk and you don't take it, you're going to remain in the same place. Because the key is right here. You just have to look up to see the key to get yourself out. But you already have the key. It's already within your possession. You're just not seeing it. The key is your power of choice. The key is your faith and your trust. Because what's literally on the other side of this door is the 10 of coins. Literally, one card after the next. Literally on the other side of this 5 of coins door is like everything you wanted. And yet you feel like it's a dream. You feel like it's so far out of reach, but it's just right there, just like one step over. If you can't find it in your heart to believe right now, Jupiter will give you another opportunity this year. He'll do his retrograde thing, but then he goes back direct through Aquarius. So it's not as though, the universe won't ever give you another opportunity. Of course it will. That's dumb, right? Obviously, yes, it will. But I also kind of feel like there's a part of you that just doesn't want to wait. We can do the divine timing thing. I talked about all that with pile 1. That's great. Divine timing is great. But also now is great too sometimes. And I feel like you think this is a dream. This is, this love, this connection, this magic. I kind of am feeling like a real melancholy vibe over here with the 5 of Cups finishing this out of like, it's almost like a dream state, and it's like you fall asleep and then you wake up and there's this whole dream in the middle, but you don't realize that this is the possibility, that this is the outcome of the choices that you make. This is the outcome of the risk that you take. Because sometimes it is risky to pop your head up and like just take a look around. Look in different corners that you've never looked before. Look in the shadows. I feel that there's a part of you that you're ignoring. There's a voice that's speaking to you that you're ignoring. Because it's asking you to do something that your ego doesn't want to do because your ego feels unsafe. But your ego is keeping you here. And then you're going to wake up and you're going to be like, oh man, I should have committed. I should have gone all in. I should have taken the chance. I should have, woulda, coulda. We know the drill, yada, yada, yada. A time to give rather than take. Sometimes we have to get out of our own world. You know? And maybe there is some kind of, right, new moon in Virgo, maybe there is some kind of thing that you can give to humanity, Jupiter, Saturn, and Aquarius. You know, maybe there is something you can give to humanity. Mars comes into Cancer, to your family, to the people that you love, to the people that you want to protect. There's something that you can give that, you know, opens your heart a little bit. Maybe you are feeling like you want to help humanity. Big word, humanity. You have something to give back to the world, and yet you're also not doing it. You're not trying it. You're not even putting your foot in the door. Maybe all of this prosperity, maybe the key is you just doing what you love. If you're an artist, maybe you just want to be an artist. Work in spiritual work, you just want to be a healer, finding it hard to make that step. You know, it's a matter of just doing it somehow, some way, and having that determination, right? That's the key. The decision and the action to follow up that decision. It's time to give. Because that giving is what unlocks all of this happiness. Take time to breathe out. To breathe. I think there's a little bit of overthinking going on here with stuff. And a little too much comparing it maybe with the past, or worried that the past will repeat. The only way the past will repeat is if you don't choose the internal change. The only way the past will repeat is if you don't change. But you have to change. You know? You have to change. Prosperity begins. Yes, it does. Once you plant the seed. Have you planted the seed yet? That's the question. Did you use Aries season to cultivate that soil, to create that environment? Have you been watering the seeds? Have you been giving attention to them, energy? Have you been, nurturing them, making sure there's the right sunlight, making sure there's the right amount of water? Because if you just plant a seed and walk away, obviously it might not, it may grow a little bit, but it might not grow as much as if you really pay attention to it. Because with the 5 of coins, I feel like maybe there was a little bit of hesitation with giving attention to it because it was too scary or whatever. So it's a matter of really putting in the time. And then we have the new beginnings. New beginnings, prosperity begins right on the other side of that door. So, the universe really is supporting you in the evolution of what's happening in your life. It's supporting those callings that you're feeling, those for the new adventure in your life. to take those first steps in a new direction. It's supporting that and saying, okay, yes, that's what we're asking you to do. That's what we're needing you to do. Because I'm going to tell you guys something. We still have Saturn in Aquarius for the next couple, right? Rest of this year and on into all through next year. And this is our time to do this kind of stuff, to like consciously make the evolution. Because what happens is when Saturn comes into Pisces in 2023, right, we're going to have Jupiter in Aries by then. And, you know, that's when Saturn starts taking things away, right? Pisces is all about surrender. There's a lot of loss that happens in the Piscean archetype or in that 12th house there. And if you haven't consciously made the changes, then the universe at that time is just going to take it away from you and say like, okay, you're done. Like, I don't care what you're doing. Like, you're donezo. Because that's the end of that cycle. Okay, so, you know, like it can be a lot harder when the universe does it versus when you at least have that consciousness of it. Okay? Just a little word of warning. Child wounded. Awakens compassion and desire to serve other wounded children, opens the learning path of forgiveness. And maybe that's what this 5 and 5 is really all about, is that there is still a need inside of you for forgiveness. There's a need for you to have the compassion for others and their own human journey and their own human experience, which is not perfect. You know your wounds, you know your traumas, you know how it's impacted you, because I know you've done the work because you're here on my channel. Like, I know that you guys are doing it along with me too. You know, you've gone in deep. So you see that in other people. Everybody, we all have it to some extent. And so there is this right time to give, a time to be a healer, a time to be someone that contributes positively to the world and makes some kind of an impact. Maybe forgiveness is a part of the key here for you as well. See, all tied up. There's like something so weird about, that's why that Aquarius, those two shields really spoke to me, because it's like one on each side, two options, two choices. Are you going to stay tied up or not? That's really what it is. Because I know you know what that feels like. And I know that you know that that's where you don't want to be. Fortune cookie, not for you. Nope, not for you. This place is not for you. And you know that. 10 of coins, Ace of cups, 2 of cups, that's for you. That's where the love is flowing. That's where you're safe. That's where you're secure. That's where the money is, coming in. That's where you feel, wealthy and prosperous. But this scarcity thing, not for you. Pulling in gratitude and appreciation every single day, super, super, super important for you guys. Change your energy, change your life. Change your energy through meditation and through conscious thoughts. Conscious thoughts. Solitude. You might need a little bit of time away from the world in order to reset or to reboot. There might be people that you need to separate from. Change your energy, change your life. Okay, you might need to separate. And that's okay, you got to take the time. And everyone, kind of has a hard time with that because we all were locked in our apartments or our homes for ever, last year. We're all excited to get out, but I don't know, maybe you shouldn't get out. Maybe you should continue with that sanctuary and staying in the places where energetically you can learn how to be more conscious of all of these things so that you can change your energy. And there might be a desire for you to escape from the world, i.e. the matrix or the Maya. And to be free from all these binds. Free from judgment, free from love, free to love. Free from judgment, free to love. Maybe that's where the freedom is, right? free from judgment. But first, you must also stop judging. If you want to be free from judgment, you must stop judging. It's amazing how often we judge as a Virgo. Look, guys, as a Virgo, I've had to work a lot on my optimism, on my gratitude, and on my judgmentalism. I'm not going to lie. Like, that's been a life lesson for me. It's been a life journey of being accepting and being understanding of all sorts of life paths. And it's not an easy journey, I'll tell you that. But it is about love, ultimately. And when you stop judging others, you stop judging yourself. And when you stop judging yourself, you start opening yourself up to myriad opportunities. And life gets easier. Okay? Alrighty, I'm going to leave you guys with that. You guys know I love you. I wish you nothing but the best. Have an amazing week. Take care. Bye-bye.